Okay, I know what I'm going to say is going to sound discriminatory, but I don't think anyone over the age of 74 should be running the country. I don't think anybody over 74 should be in Congress. Maybe even lower than that. And I know that sounds discriminatory or whatever, but um, I was talking to my wife's grandpa, who is about 80 or 81 years old, and he sent a weird ass text saying about I couldn't get dog food at Starbucks or whatever. She's like, you can't get dog food at Starbucks. What are you talking about? Or dog bags or whatever at Starbucks. And it just dawned on me that this guy has lost his mind. And we have people who are in their 70s, 80s running America. That to me is scary. Like literally, like no one, like once you start hitting like your 60s or whatever, no one wants to hire you. And I get it, the 60s, people still have their minds or whatever, but I really think that, I mean, like once you're in your 70s, I mean, I know no one wants to hire you, and there's a good reason for that. And I know that sounds discriminatory, and I know people need to make money or whatever, but if you need a job at that age, you need to be doing something where um, that doesn't require you to think. Because a lot of the people, I would say a good 30-40% of people who are in their 70s or 80s have dementia, at least some form of dementia. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, but I just think that once you get that old, just enjoy you shouldn't be allowed to work. We should just pay you to stay home or whatever, pay you to, enjoy the last years of your life. Okay, most of these people don't know how to work a cell phone, how to, anything about what young people are struggling with today. You ask an old person, someone in their 70s, how much an average house costs, they'll still say like $70,000 or something crazy like that. And they actually believe this. Go ask your grandpa how much he thinks a house costs. Okay, you should really only be working between the ages of like 16 and like I would say the latest 74. Okay, and once you hit 74, I don't think you should be allowed to work anymore unless it's something that you can't, that doesn't require you to think, that doesn't require you to affect someone else's life. Because these old folks are affecting our lives and making it worse. Okay? Mitch McConnell went up there, basically almost had a stroke or whatever, had some form of dementia where he couldn't think of anything. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not saying this to be cruel. I'm just saying we shouldn't have these old geezers running our country. I mean, the business world gets it. Once they hit, their late 60s, no one wants to hire anybody. No one wants to hire somebody who's like, 68 years old or up. It is what it is. Tough. And I get that there's age discrimination. I don't think anyone should be age discriminated against, and from 40 to to 68 or whatever. Or really 68, 70 to early 70s. I mean, that's when people start losing their minds a little bit. They can't think as fast as young folks. You really start deteriorating in your mind once you hit your 60s and 70s. It is what it is. Tough. That's life. But I mean, I don't think, I think we should have a rule that says once you hit 74, and hopefully people agree with me, once you hit 74, you cannot lead the country. You cannot practice in politics. You can't be a doctor. You can't be a lawyer. You can't be anything that it's going to affect our lives, because you are going to screw things up. You are too old to be doing anything, and people should be caring for you. We should be caring for you as an old person. Your time for contributing to society is over. Unless, you're caring for your grandparents, grandchildren, or whatever. Your time is up. I'm just saying, I'm not saying this to mean we should care for you, but you shouldn't be allowed to work in that age. I'm sorry, and there's no shame in it. I mean, yes, there are old people that keep their minds until they die. My grandpa is 90 years old, and his mind is still sharp. It's insane. But there should be rules. If you're that age, you shouldn't be allowed to drive. You shouldn't be allowed to mow your lawn. You shouldn't be allowed to do this stuff. Because you might affect someone else's life. I mean, it's just like you're permanently, once you hit your late 70s and in your 80s and whatever, it's almost like you're permanently drunk. You just have dementia, and it's, a lot of old people get it, and it's not anything to be ashamed about. It's just your brain starts deteriorating. And that's why you should enjoy your youth. But if you agree with me, like my video. I know it sounds discriminatory, but we really can't have people who are so old to run this country. It's freaking scary.